So when I went back and forth with him on like the proposal, a good book for a lot of people to read. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And one of the things that I did is there's like a percentage tier on negotiation.
Like banking checks every month.
Mhm.
But I mean, this one client, when you finally landed, it like effectively like doubled your monthly revenue, right? So like if it did that, it's worth a couple meetings a month to like take care of and like nurture this relationship, right?
Yeah, and the potential with working with somebody who's so high ticket, they know a lot of other high ticket business owners too. So the appeal for me is like, hey, future me can potentially close a lot of like his friends on the same kind of deal. And so when I went back and forth with him on like the proposal, a good book for a lot of people to read. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And one of the things that I did is there's like a percentage tier on negotiation, and like how much percent higher should you start your negotiation to get to a price point that you actually want, and like how much you should drop your price percentage wise on the negotiation to get the deal that you're ideally looking for.
Yeah, it's a great book. I think like because I know a lot of people are afraid to like say the number first too, right? Which I think it's always good to know, especially if somebody's paid for a service before, so you at least have a baseline. So I think your question was good, but then some people are like, oh, I'm not going to say a number till they do, right? But doesn't he talk about in that book? And because I watched the master class too, the master class is awesome. He also talks about like, is it anchoring or something like that, where it's like, hey, but just by you setting that price, it automatic, like all the negotiations are then kind of like tied to that number, like whether higher or lower, right?
Yeah. And you never know, what if they said yes right out the gate. Like I've had situations like that with lead gen clients where a lot of my sales over the years has not been like super diligent in coming up with like a number. It's almost just been throwing out a number and seeing if they accept it, and we'll negotiate from there. And I've had instances where they accept the first number I threw out there. So yeah, it's a great book for people to read if they want to get more confident in negotiation with clients, but just talking with people in general. There's a lot of good conversational tactics that you can use in everyday conversation, and like with girlfriend, spouse. I use a lot of that conversation tactics in discussions with my girlfriend. She does not like it when I use.
Say, how's that work?
She calls me out on it. Like she's like, hey, don't use that book language in my face. Yeah. So when I eventually close the deal, it's a weekly client. So he pays me weekly, but monthly recurring revenue across the year ends up about, as of now, it's about $13,900 a month. So high tier client. I'm willing to go to a couple meetings a week and make sure I get everything done for this client to have him keep me around. Since it is
that's just for those of you that aren't quick at math, that's $166,800 a month if you have a client paying you that weekly. That's or monthly rather. That's what gave you the idea to do that weekly, or who?
So Shiv initially is the guy who I learned to take weekly deals from, and I would see like Damien post a couple weekly deals that he closed in there, and it was like reaffirmed at this Vegas event of the mentality of these business owners. Sometimes a big bill like that at the end of the month can kind of twist their mind to determine like, hey, is it worth it? Like I'm going down a large chunk of change at the end of the month. And a lot of these business owners, their businesses work on a weekly basis, if not even sometimes daily basis, on like how much cash they have on hand, how much are they expensing out each day. So doing it weekly kind of makes it a smaller bill, more tangible to pay throughout the week. So just like a couple other people in the group talking about it gave me that idea, and that's my first weekly deal, and I don't think it will be my last.